going to go over whichever ones you guys want to see. Which ones is that? 4. Okay. And 3. So for 3, to get b by itself, we would multiply both sides by b. So that those b's cancel, and then divide both sides by d. So that b equals m over d. Questions on that? In this last one, it gives us this formula, and it says solve for c. So this is like the delta math problems where you might have 2 of the same variable. So we have to take that c out, put it in front of parentheses, and see what would be left. So this would be 1 plus r. And we would divide both sides by 1 plus r. So that entire 1 plus r cancels, leaving p over 1 plus r equals c. Questions there? Okay. Look at your course calendar. So 1, you'll see that we're starting our new unit very briefly today. We'll continue it next class next week. But also see that some of our days are interrupted. Hold on, Maddie. Like next Wednesday, I don't see you at all because of PSAT. Because you'll be in whatever period you're testing in. And then also see that there are 2 quizzes, a test, and then on the back, activity. So we're going to go through 3 of our standards, quiz those, and then test. And then we're going to do our last standard and quiz, but then do a project for that one. Because this one will end at the beginning of November, that is past the end of the quarter, all of these assignments will be on quarter 2. Which means after you have finished the Unit 3 tests, retaken, finished those assignments, that is your grade for quarter 2. There will not be any other grades except for maybe a formative. So keep that in mind. If you have not retaken, finished your retake stuff, you need to retake Unit 3. You need to come do that as soon as possible before the quarter ends in a few weeks. Maddie, what was your question? It was probably up there. Alright, so look at the notes I passed out. We're going to very briefly start that. So this unit is about functions again, so we kind of started at functions into equations. Now we're going back to functions, but in a different light. So all the standards are written at the top. Really, we're writing equations in different formats from different things. Graphs, points, different types of lines. So we're going to talk about graphs today. If we are writing equations from a graph, we have to identify the slope and the y-intercept. And once we find that, we're going to write it in slope-intercept form, which is what? Say that again. Yes, y equals mx plus b. So the first couple have lines to find the m and find the slope separately and then write the equation. Then the rest don't. You can continue doing that. So I would say find the y-intercept first. Wherever that crosses the y-axis, it's a little blurry, so look closely. Where does that cross the y-axis? And then there is another point right here. If I counted that slope, what is that slope? 3. 3 over 1, which was simplified to just 3. So if I'm writing that equation, I have my slope and intercept. So y equals 3x minus 3. Questions there? Let's do number 2. Y-intercept with that one. 2. Slope, there's a point right here. What is that slope? Negative 3 over 2. So that equation would then be y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 2. Good. We'll do one more of these and move on to the back. Let's do 3. Sure. What's that y-intercept? 2. And then what is that slope? 2 over 5. So that equation is you have any questions on how we write the equation from the graph? This is probably the easiest thing we'll do for this whole week. That's not necessarily true. Okay. Any other questions on this page before we go on to the back? Let's go on to the back. Questions from that page you want to see do go over? Did you have any questions on 13 or 14 before we move on? Yes.
Like a general question, so like, are there any exceptions to this, or is it just like kind of all the same?
The next page. Okay, so on the next page, we have our special case vertical and horizontal lines. We talked about the slopes of these. We talked about how to graph these. And now we're going to write the equations for these. So if you remember your Hoybux, we talked about this before. I'm just going to write, actually I'm going to write it. So your horizontal lines have 0 slope and are y equals. Your vertical lines have undefined slope and are x equals. So in the vertical line case, this is a vertical line. It's kind of blurry on mine. I don't know about yours. But this is going to be an x equals wherever that crosses the x-axis. Where would that be? Where does that cross the x-axis? 3. So then your equation would be x equals 3. And then similar for the horizontal, this is a horizontal line, so it's going to be a y equals, and then you're going to look at wherever that crosses the y-axis, which is where? -1. So then your equation is y equals -1. Do 1 through 6 really quickly. number 3, the line is at the bottom. And number 5, the line is on the y-axis. Double check your answers with mine. Do you have any questions on how to write equations of horizontal and vertical lines? No, because y equals 0 would look like this. So it's only just that one. Okay, so that's all we're doing today. There is a Dust Math on this. It's not due until next week, but you are welcome to try that. And then I wanted your opinion on this. So for Friday prizes, obviously I don't see you this Friday, but this would be the week that we pull. So we can either pull today and then pull again on the 18th, or we can skip today and then pull 2 Fridays in a row. So next week and the week after. So those for pulling today, raise your hand. Okay, so it looks like we're going to pull 2 Fridays in a row. Alright, so I will keep that in mind. You guys can I'll let you put phones and stuff up early today. If you want to keep practicing in your notes, you can do that.